everyone, my name is Chelsea and I'm the marketing coordinator for Sask Milk. I'm new to this position and I've never been to a dairy farm or experienced what the dairy industry is all about. Today I'm here at the Rayner Center in Saskatoon to take my first tour of a dairy barn. Here to help me today on my tour, I've got two people, and the first person I'd like to introduce you to is Emily.
Hello, my name is Emily Morbido and I also work for Sask Milk, but my office is actually here at the Rayner Center. So the main part of my job is to use this wonderful facility to take students on tours to learn a little bit about agriculture and a lot about the dairy industry. So also today we have Jay, who's the farm manager at the Rayner Center, to tell us a little bit more about the Rayner Center and what he does.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay, the manager of the Rayner Dairy Research and Teaching Facility. We do educational tours here, we conduct research here, and we also are one of the 165 producers here in the province.
So today on the tour, you'll notice that we're standing 6 feet apart and we will be wearing masks throughout the tour. That is because of COVID-19 precautions. Typically, when you come on a tour of the Rayner Center, you would be wearing one of these lovely outfits, which Emily will be happy to tell you what they're all about.
Yeah, so actually for COVID-19 at dairy facilities, not much changed except for we now have to wear masks. But either having one of these suits on or wearing these plastic booties is very normal for coming onto a dairy facility. This is something called biosecurity. So we want to make sure that people that come on the farm aren't bringing germs from elsewhere and that nothing from the facility will be leaving the facility. So they'll throw their booties out or we'll throw our outfits out when we're all done with the tour. This is part of something actually called ProAction. So I'm going to show you what these logos mean, and I'm sure you've seen them before, but you'll see these logos on dairy products that were produced in Canada. And why this is important is because we actually have what's called ProAction, where there's a lot of standards that Canadian dairy farmers have to reach. So we focus on cow comfort. We have to make sure that our cows are spending a lot of time lying down. We make sure that we're managing the environment. We make sure that we're keeping our animals safe and secure and overall healthy and happy.
Okay guys, are you ready to go for the tour?
All right, so we're about to go on the tour. I just wanted to point out that the Rayner Center, again, is a really wonderful place to come to learn about the dairy facility. So we actually have a catwalk above the cows so that we don't disturb the cows, but we can actually come in and see what's going on in the dairy facility. So Chelsea is going to be the point of view, so she's actually taking this tour. So say hi, Chelsea.
Hi. I'm seriously, guys, I'm American. I've never worked in agriculture or dairy, so this is my first time going on a tour. So I'm going to be asking a lot of questions to Emily today. Hopefully questions that you guys want answers to. And if you don't get your answers, hopefully we can do a Q&A at the end of this video.
All right, so I'm going to open the door and we can start our tour. This is the area of the dairy where we have smaller pens where we can do some individual care for some cows if needed. This could be for cows that have recently had a baby. All dairy cows have to have a calf to produce milk, or it might just be for cows that need some extra special attention.
So who else would be involved in the care of the cows?
We work very closely with a team of veterinarians. We have a nutritionist and we have a hoof trimmer that comes here regularly. All these people combine to help us keep our cows very healthy.
So another unique feature at the Rayner Dairy is that we actually have 2 different types of milking facilities that our cows can go through. So we have a conventional system, which you guys will see now, but we also have what's called a voluntary milking system. So I'll explain to you a little bit what that is later. But in this system, the cows are coming through this 3 times a day. They come through once in the morning, once around lunch, which is right now, and then once again at night. So they get milked 3 times a day.
Okay, Jay, I have a question. How many cows do you actually have here that you milk?
We have 110 cows.
Okay. And how much milk would a typical cow produce in a day?
What would you think that they'd produce in a day?
Liters or gallons?
Oh, we gotta go liters.
Okay, Canadian. 10 liters.
Guess again.
25 liters.
Oh, you gotta guess one more time.
Are we higher or lower?
You gotta go higher.
A lot higher?
Yeah, a little higher.
35 gallons. Or sorry, liters.
Oh, there's the American. Oh, we're getting close there. Our cows produce 42 liters per day. Per cow per day.
Okay, so I guess my next question would be, how exactly does this conventional milking process work?
Well, I'll be happy to tell you. When the cows come in, first of all, we dip them in a special cleaner, their teeth, so that all the germs and bacteria are killed. We wipe them off with a cloth, and then we hang the milking machine on. And when the cow's done milking, we again put a special dip onto their teats that conditions them and kills all the germs before they go back to their stalls.
Oh, very cool.
All right, so this is the other type of milking facility that we have at the Rayner Center. This is what's called the voluntary milking system. So the biggest difference between this system and the conventional is that the cows aren't actually brought through here 3 times a day. They get to come in and out as they please. So there's a little pathway here that they're gonna walk through. There is a gate right there that reads their collar and will actually know if they've been milked recently. And if they've been milked recently, it's gonna kick them back out into their stalls. So sometimes they go through maybe to get an extra snack. So once they get into the robot, they're actually fed is it a pellet, Jay? What is in there?
Yeah, they're fed a barley pellet.
So they're fed like a little snack inside of there. So it kind of gives them some motivation to go through the robot. Once they're done milking, the milker actually, I should let you know, it does everything that the people do. So it's going to dip them, it's going to wash their teats, and then it's going to put the milking machine on and also do that post-dip again after milking. But when the cow is done, she comes out, she walks back out into the parlor or into the stalls and maybe has a nap or a snack.
Very cool. But this allows them to come and go as they please, almost as many times as they want.
Right, so there is a limit on it. So like I said, if they go through too many times,
Okay.
it'll make them go back out to their stalls. But usually they go through about 3 times a day. But if they wanted to, they could come through 4 or 5.
And so are these the stalls?
Yep, these are the stalls here. So I should mention, this type of facility is really common in Western Canada. It's what's called a free stall facility. So this is where cows can get up and walk around freely. So it's very much sounds like what it's called. And they have stalls that they can get up and lay down in. So what you're seeing here is exactly what you want to see when you walk into a facility. So if you look over there, you can see a lot of the cows are lying down and chewing their cud. Have you heard that before?
No, what's a cud?
So, Jay, I don't know if you want to explain this. What is a cud?
Hey, Emily wants to explain what a cud is.
So,
Should I be worried?
don't be worried. Some people think it's a little bit gross. So, cows actually will chew their food more than once. So they'll eat some food, so they eat it really quickly. Then they go lay down, and then their food actually comes back up into their mouth, and they re-chew it. And this is letting them add some more saliva back into this food to help them break down the food in their stomach. So they have a very complicated digestive system. So you want to see them lying down and you want to see them chewing. So this is exactly what you want to see in a facility.
And what's interesting, Emily, you should ask Chelsea how many stomachs do you think a cow has?
I feel like I know this one. It's 2.
Double.
4? Okay, I'm not as smart as I thought I was.
Yes. So they have 4 compartments in their stomach. So actually, it's a really complicated process, but essentially cows can take things that we can't digest as humans, and they can turn it into energy. So it's a really interesting digestive system. So before we get to the other side of the freestyle facility, I actually wanted to ask you a question, Chelsea. Have you seen dairy cows before? And if you have any opinions on what they look like?
Well, I mean, I've seen them now, but I would say that they look like more petite than I would assume a cow would look.
Okay, and that's a common thing we guess. But dairy cows actually are supposed to look a little bit bonier, what we would call angular. So I don't know if you see all that stuff on the floor that's in front of them. That's all feed. So cows actually have access to a 24-hour-a-day buffet. So they're eating a lot of the day, and they always have food available to them. So Jay, I actually am not sure what all are they eating and what's included in their diet.
Well, these cows, they're eating a barley silage, which is a forage. They're getting grains, corn. They have special minerals that go into their diet, and it's all mixed up every day like a recipe that you would see your mom making porridge.
I also noticed, what are these blue bins over here?
Okay, so these blue bins are another unique feature of the Rayner dairy. So, as I mentioned earlier, cows have really complicated stomachs, so we need to understand as much as we can about them. So we have these blue bunks where we can actually program a cow's collar to a specific bunk. So she has to go to the bunk that she is assigned to eat that food. So we can weigh and measure how much that cow is eating or not eating, and do a little bit more research on very specific diets. So it's something that the U of S focuses on, is nutrition research in dairy cows. So we have a guest appearance here by Cheeto, and Cheeto is one of the barn cats that help keep the mice population down in the facility. So we figured we'd get Cheeto on tape while they were doing some acrobatics.
Cheeto!
Alright, so we're back on the parlor side of the freestyle facility. There's a couple of things on this side that I want to point out to you. So on the other side, you notice that there's a lot of cows lying down. Right now, these stalls are empty, and that's because the cows are in the milking parlor. So while they're in there, I'm going to take a minute to show you how deep the bedding is. I don't know if you noticed. Do you know what that is in there?
No.
So those are shavings.
Okay.
Those are deep bedded shavings. So we want to make sure the cow has a really comfortable place to lie down and rest, because resting is a very important part of the day for a cow. So how many hours do you think they sleep for?
I don't know. 10.
Really good guess. The goal is to try to get cows to rest for about 12 hours a day. So that's why we want to make sure these are really clean and really comfortable for them. So the other thing you'll notice is, it's a little hard to see from here, but at every what's called a crossover, so do you see that area in between the stalls and the other group of cows?
Yeah.
There's water there, so cows have access to water at every one of those points. Oh, there's one right below us.
Ah, there we go.
And Jay makes sure that everybody keeps the water fresh and clean. Also, we have these brushes. Do you know what those might be for?
For the cows?
Super good guess. They are for the cows. The cows actually push up against them, and then the brushes will start rotating. So they'll get like a little bit of a scratch and a little bit of a clean. They're a really good example of why we do research in the dairy industry. It's shown that cows really like that engagement with the brushes. So now it's really common for most dairy facilities to have these brushes. Chelsea, I have a little quiz for you.
I'm failing the test today, guys.
No, you're doing really good, actually. So do you see that U-shaped thing on the ground?
Yeah.
What do you think that is for?
Well, it looks like it's on like a track.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume it's to clean up the poop.
Yes, super good guess. Okay, and on that, I'm gonna ask you one more question. We have to walk up this path a little bit.
Okay, I'll follow you.
There's this building here. What do you think is inside of that?
Well, we were just talking about poop, so I'm gonna guess poop.
Right, so that is the manure storage on the facility. So
that's full of manure.
It's not full of manure. It holds storage for quite a long time, 6 to 12 months. So it'll stay in there for a while. But what happens is that scraper that you saw, it's gonna lower down a couple times a day. 5 times a day, Jay?
Yeah, five times a day.
Yeah, so it'll go down to the ground, push all the manure, and then the manure is gonna go up into this storage facility here.
Okay, so I have a really odd question that we didn't talk about. But what happens to it after it's in there? Like it just
What do you do with the manure after it's in there?
Actually, it's pretty neat. After it's in there, we pump it out and we put it onto fields as fertilizer, and it helps grow our crops.
fancy.
All right, so I have another quiz for you. We are gonna look at that tank there, and I want you to tell me what you think is inside of it.
Well, I'm just gonna take a look at this and assume that it's milk.
Yes, so this is what's called the bulk tank, and this is where all of the milk goes on farm. So this milk will stay in here and get picked up every other day. So it holds all the milk. And how many liters do they make a day here? Do you remember?
Jay, what'd you say? 45 liters?
42.
Oh, close.
So all that milk from all those cows until pickup goes inside of this tank. So we'll go over and we'll see. I don't know if you can tell, but it might be a little hard to see, but there's a wall here. So there's the back end of this tank here, and it's separated by this wall, and the front end of the tank is actually where the milk truck will come pick up the milk.
So what does the milk truck driver do once he arrives here?
He'll come into this room where only he is allowed, and he tests our milk before he picks it up for quality and also if there's any antibiotics or anything wrong with the milk. And then after he takes it, when it's good, it's in 2 days, it's going to be in your glass.
Just gonna take one more sneak peek down there. Very cool, guys. Well, thank you so much for showing me around. I really appreciate it. It's been really cool being able to check out the Rayner Center. I've never been here. So I guess now we'll kind of sit down and we'll get some Q&As for the students at home.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Thanks, guys.